Hello once again. My name is Darrell Lang, the chaplain at Brittany Point Estates in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. It's been about 6 years since my favorite uncle passed away. My Uncle Ed enjoyed 101 years on this earth. He lived most of his life in Chicago, and his later years he spent living in Boise, Idaho. He was a lifelong Chicago Cubs fan. He played a variety of musical instruments and once even conducted the Lawrence Welk Orchestra in Branson, Missouri. Uncle Ed was a lifelong Catholic who later married a Presbyterian, and I think he would have liked me to call him the first Catholic Presbyterian in the state of Idaho. Now, what I just shared with you was his obituary, but Uncle Ed was a whole lot more than a few paragraphs in a death notice. No, Uncle Ed brought me my first shortwave radio, and that opened up a world for me and helped me understand that there were people in the world with different perspectives. I saw how Uncle Ed loved my Aunt Zeta. There was a lot of laughter in that home. And Uncle Ed one day took me to visit a mausoleum. Why? Well, to pay his respects to his parents. And that taught me to respect those who have gone before me. Uncle Ed was more to me than just a nice guy. Now, you can probably remember people like my uncle that in your own life may have influenced you. Maybe it was a parent or a relative or a beloved pastor, or maybe even a scoutmaster. I think the question we ought to ask ourselves as we close another year is, am I leaving a legacy to those around me, or will I be just a memory? There is a difference, of course. Leaving a legacy is to put a stamp, a character stamp, an imprint of Christ-likeness, especially on the generations behind us. In the book of Titus, Paul urges us, and urges the younger Titus, to teach and encourage others to pass on godliness. Now the principle is the same if you're a church leader or not. Titus 2:6 and following gives the illustration of teaching others to leave a legacy. The passage goes just like this. Encourage the young men to be self-controlled. In everything set them an example by doing what is good. In your teaching, show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech that cannot be condemned, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed because they have nothing bad to say about us. Passing down the faith, passing down sound doctrine, mentoring, is both by the mentor's example caught and also taught. And if done well, the text says that there will be nothing the opponents of the faith could say, and that the reason for that is our reputations will be that sound. Earlier in the same chapter, older women are to pass along Christ-like character to the younger women, with, of course, the same results. That is, so that no one could malign the Word of God. To say that young adults need such mentors of the faith is to state the obvious. I saw this the other day. A philosopher at Boston College asked his philosophy class to write an essay about their own personal struggles over right and wrong, good and evil. Most of the students, the professor said, couldn't even complete the assignment. Why was that? Well, the students said, we haven't done anything wrong. You all know that with our inflationary times, making good financial investments is crucial, especially in our senior years. But listening to that story and that account from Boston College, I think more important is making the right spiritual investment, which is to influence the next generation to love Jesus more and to help them live out their faith. Writer Ronald Rolheiser asked all of us to think about this important question as we come around to the last laps of our life. And that question was, how can I now live so that my death will be an optimal blessing for my family my church, and the world. And so may we be men and women who leave a godly legacy to others and not just be a mere memory eventually forgotten. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.